So the recurring issue uh, in life, right, is this gap between expectation and reality. Um, and depending how wide that gap is, kind of dictates like how dark things can be. Um, and I guess my relationship with Jesus is that it closes that gap between expectation and reality. Oftentimes, our expectations are worldly expectations that are unrealistic. And I feel like just the grace and love and peace that comes with Jesus is what just kind of fills that void between expectation and reality in this life. You know, when we initially found out we couldn't have children, naturally, um, I mean, it's pretty significant heartbreak. We knew we wanted a big family, and you're just kind of at a loss at what's next. You have this expectation. It's literally a loss of a family that you always pictured having, that then you lose in an instant, and so you feel all the weight of that at that moment. I will say, and again, back to just the Holy Spirit at work in us. My wife and I, literally part of our family plan was always going to be adoption. And so that was always like in the back of our mind. And so I certainly think that helped in the moment. For adoption, we considered it relatively, open. We were looking for infant to like toddler age. So younger. We were pretty young parents. And so, we're just kind of looking for anywhere in the U.S. It's a 2-year contract, right? So the expectation, it's going to happen within 2 years. We were a young couple, moderately normal looking. Everyone, you're hearing from, you'll get picked in no time. You guys are adorable, right? And then you wait, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then you start kind of spiraling, where you start questioning, all right, is this the right agency? Did we make the right choice? Is this how we're going to grow our family? It felt like God put this on our heart before we were even married, and here we are still waiting. And so why would we feel compelled to go this route if we weren't even going to be given a child? It's like, okay, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with us? And then you scouring all these, because you put together this brochure basically, and it's literally a brochure about your life. It's like a sales catalog. It's like, hey, look at us, pick us, buy us, right? And so you're like, oh geez, did we pick the wrong pictures? Oh, do I look angry in this photo or something? And so then you start doing, we got to do more stuff. So then like we put together, so then we were like, let's do you can do videos. Let's like do some videos and do a Q&A on videos so they can hear us talk. So we don't, they can see how we don't sound weird or anything like that. And it's just, you can start overthinking, overanalyzing, over-criticizing, and you get into your own head. There was a sermon series called T90X, and it was like tithe for 90 days and see what happens. And at that time, we were, again, kind of newer in our faith journey, and we're kind of very lukewarm at best about like tithing and committing to giving God our first and our best. And it was just like the most profound, weird scenario where throughout the series, you're like called to, hey, just tithe your first and your best, tithe 10%. And the T90X is do it for 90 days, and the X was like see how God responds. And it was the weirdest thing. So Christian and I chose like, okay, let's tithe 90% of our actual gross, like top line. And I'm not making this isn't like you guys got to tithe, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. It's just like, it was just this commitment to God, like, hey God, we give it up to you. Like we give you our first and our best, and we want to see what you can do in our lives. And so we made that decision. And again, this was like towards the end of our adoption process, and I was able to have a conversation. So we made that commitment on a Sunday. And then that Tuesday, I just by chance, I was visiting with some coworkers, and I was just like talking about, this, like we've made the commitment to tithe we're doing it. You know, we made this commitment to God. That was on a Tuesday, and then on Thursday we got a call from the adoption agency that we were chosen for adoption. It was just like, what? I mean, it just the timing of it's crazy, right? And so it wasn't like we're gonna give this all to God because we're gonna get a baby. It was just like, hey, God, you know, we put you first. Do with us what you will. And then all of a sudden we get a call. And again, I'm not saying if you tithe you're gonna get a baby, but it's like, it was just this, it was this just beautiful moment of like God very much in the present and showing up. And we didn't get him until we were 1 month left on our contract. So far in my life, my story and what it's taught me about God would have to be just his presence in every moment, even though I don't see him. And just his relentless pursuit of me shows up in just the people that he surrounds me by, the circumstances that he delivers me from. And then, yeah, just the peace that comes through knowing him and being able to turn to him and just hand it all off and put it on him, and knowing that he's strong enough to bear it all.